Hello there, and welcome to this sleepy science zone. Tonight, you don't have to solve anything, fix anything, or carry anything. Just breathe softly for a moment. Because even now, without any effort from you, your body is generating an elegant, invisible field of energy that quietly shapes your healing. Scientists call it the human biofield, a measurable electromagnetic tapestry produced by your heart, your brain, and every living cell. And the extraordinary part is this: the calmer you become, the more harmonious this field grows. Right now, in these first few seconds, your body is already beginning to shift. Your breath slows slightly, your heart softens its rhythm, and the energy around you settles like dust drifting into sunlight. You may not feel it yet, but your body does. This is the first doorway into deep rest. The human biofield isn't imagination. It's grounded in research from biophysics, electrophysiology, and quantum biology. Your heart's electrical activity generates a magnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body, detectable by magnetometers. Your brain emits oscillations, alpha, theta, delta, that ripple outward like soft waves. Even your cells release ultra-weak photon emissions, tiny pulses of biological light that scientists measure with photomultipliers. All of this creates a shimmering envelope of information around you, a living halo shaped by breath, emotion, and intention. And while it may sound poetic, its physics is real. Electromagnetic fields can synchronize, resonate, and self-organize into patterns that support healing. As you settle into this moment, that field begins to reorganize itself. With every slow inhale, the vagus nerve activates, lowering heart rate and smoothing variability. With every exhale, your parasympathetic system strengthens, sending signals of safety into your bloodstream. In response, the biofield shifts from chaotic, jagged patterns into smooth circular waves, what researchers call coherence. Your heart's electromagnetic rhythm becomes more regular. Your brain's oscillations drift into gentler frequencies, and the entire field around you starts to hum in a more unified geometry. This is not something you force. It is something you allow. Imagine a faint glow surrounding your body, not bright or sharp, but soft, like moonlight resting on water. That glow changes as your internal landscape changes. When stress rises, it becomes turbulent. When calm returns, it smooths like a lake after wind. Right now, as your shoulders drop even a little, as your jaw releases, as your breath becomes slower and rounder, that glow becomes steadier. This is your body remembering. The biofield reorganizes long before the mind realizes anything has shifted. Take another gentle breath. Inhale to gather light. Exhale to let the weight go. With each cycle, your heart moves toward coherence. Your neurons begin synchronizing in slower rhythms, and your cells pulse with a clearer signal. You are becoming a quieter instrument in a larger cosmic symphony of fields and frequencies. You don't have to believe in anything mystical. Just let the science carry you. Electromagnetic fields respond to breath, to emotion, to intention. Your body is doing the work on its own. And as you drift deeper into this soft beginning, you'll feel something subtle happening, not outside of you, but through you. A quiet alignment, a gentle organization, a return to balance you didn't have to earn. Just breathe and let the biofield begin to glow. Hello there, and welcome to this sleepy science zone. Tonight, as you settle a little deeper into stillness, something remarkable is already happening inside and around you. Your heart, an instrument of both biology and light, is beginning to adjust its rhythm in response to your breath, shifting your entire electromagnetic field into a quieter, safer pattern. Most people never realize this, but your heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body, up to 100 times stronger electrically and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. This field extends in every direction, creating a bubble of influence that gently interacts with the world around you. And right now, as your breathing slows, that bubble is becoming smoother, rounder, and more coherent. In the first minute of calm, your heart rate variability begins to change. No longer jagged and defensive, but rhythmic, like waves rolling against a quiet shore. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute call this heart coherence, a state where the intervals between heartbeats form a smooth sine wave. This isn't just aesthetic. When the heart enters coherence, it sends signals of safety to the brainstem, reducing amygdala activation and lowering cortisol levels. Your heart is literally telling your brain, "It's okay now, you can rest." And the brain listens. As the heart's electromagnetic field stabilizes, neural oscillations begin shifting from busy beta waves into gentler alpha rhythms, the frequency of creativity, reflection, and soft awareness. If you continue to breathe slowly, around 5 to 6 breaths per minute, your brain may begin slipping even deeper into theta, the gateway to dreams, memory processing, and profound healing. The beauty of this transition is that you don't have to force anything. Your heart leads, and your brain follows. Your breath is the conductor. Take a slow breath in. Feel the chest rise like a tide moving toward the moon. Then exhale gently, letting the tide fall back into the sand. With each cycle, the electrical activity of the heart becomes steadier. The magnetic field radiating from your chest grows more ordered. And the biofield surrounding your body begins to mirror this pattern. Forming a subtle electromagnetic harmony scientists can measure several feet away. In this quiet coherence, something else begins to happen. The nervous system shifts into parasympathetic dominance, the state sometimes called rest and digest, though it is far more poetic than that. In this state, blood vessels soften, digestive organs wake, immune function strengthens, and the body gently begins its nightly repairs. You may feel your eyelids grow heavier, your breath becoming round and slow, your shoulders melting downward. This is the physics of calm shaping your biology. And yet, coherence doesn't stop with the body. Studies show that when a person enters a coherent state, the electromagnetic field around them becomes so orderly that other people nearby may unconsciously synchronize with it, breathing slower, relaxing deeper, feeling safer without knowing why. Calm, it turns out, is contagious through physics before it is shared through words. So as you lie here, breathing softly, remember this. Your heart is not just a pump, it is a lighthouse of electromagnetic rhythm, guiding your inner world back into alignment. Each beat is smoothing the energy around you. Each breath is sculpting the space within you. Each moment is pulling you deeper into the elegant quiet of coherence. Just breathe and let your heart lead the way. Every moment you breathe, Trillions of cells inside you send out tiny pulses of electromagnetic energy, soft flashes of biological light known as ultra-weak photon emissions. You can't see them with your eyes, but sensitive instruments like photomultipliers can detect them, revealing that the human body is constantly glowing. This glow isn't random. It's structured, rhythmic, and deeply tied to your state of mind. Tonight, as you relax more deeply, that glow is already changing, quietly reorganizing into a more harmonious pattern around you. Scientists in the field of quantum biology have discovered that mitochondria, the energy generators inside your cells, release photons as they create ATP, the molecule that powers life. These photons travel through your tissues like microscopic signals, coordinating activity and helping cells communicate faster than chemical messengers ever could. This means your biofield isn't just outside you, it's also inside you, woven through every cell, forming a radiant network that pulses with the rhythm of your breath and heartbeat. When you inhale slowly, the oxygen you draw in increases mitochondrial efficiency. As those mitochondria work more fluidly, the quality of photon emissions becomes steadier, more coherent. When you exhale, stress hormones dip and cellular disorder fades, allowing the internal light to settle into smoother frequencies. These tiny shifts are too subtle to feel directly, yet they ripple outward, shaping the electromagnetic environment around your body like soft waves moving across a quiet lake. Imagine, just for a moment, that every cell in your body is a small lantern, some bright, some dim, some flickering gently as they attempt to find their rhythm. When you are stressed, the lanterns flash out of sync, creating a noisy, chaotic field. But when calm begins to settle, when your breath deepens and your mind softens, the lanterns slowly align, flickering in unison. This alignment is what biophysicists call biophoton coherence, a state where cellular light becomes ordered enough to behave like a unified field. It's not metaphor, it's measurable physics. Take a slow breath in. Let it fill the space beneath your ribs. And as you exhale, imagine all those tiny lanterns inside your cells, glowing with the same gentle pulse. Even now, your biofield is reorganizing. Electrical activity in your nervous system is smoothing. The water inside your cells is structuring, and the photons released from mitochondria begin to move in more coordinated patterns. Many researchers believe these structured photon fields help guide healing, directing stem cells, regulating inflammation, and orchestrating the subtle choreography of recovery during sleep. And your breath is the key. Each inhale invites order. Each exhale releases noise. Your inner field grows clearer, quieter, more luminous. You don't need to force anything. Your body already knows this language of light. It has been speaking it since the first moment of your life. The biofield surrounding you, gently expanding, gently pulsing, is simply the outer expression of your cells communicating in harmony. And as you drift deeper into calm, the light inside and around you becomes softer, rounder, almost musical. A quiet geometry of healing. Just breathe and let the inner light settle into stillness. In this quiet moment, as your breath settles into a slow, steady rhythm, something extraordinary is happening beneath the surface. Something so subtle that science only recently found the tools to describe it. Your body, your cells, your heartbeat, your neural currents, all of them are generating faint electromagnetic vibrations. These vibrations don't stay contained within your skin. They extend outward, forming a soft, luminous cloud of information around you. Physicists call this a coherent quantum field interaction, but you might feel it simply as calm, the sense that the air around you is softening as you exhale. The human biofield behaves like a live-in resonance chamber. Every cell contains charged particles, ions, and oscillating proteins that vibrate at specific frequencies. When you are stressed, these vibrations become jagged, disorganized, like 100 instruments tuning at once. But when you breathe slowly, exactly as you are now, these oscillations begin to synchronize. They fall into tempo with your heartbeat, with the slow wave rolling of your breath, and even with the electrical rhythms of your brain. Researchers call this phenomenon frequency entrainment, and it's one of the quiet miracles of human biology. Without effort, the body wants to return to harmony. Imagine your breath as a conductor. A slow inhale brings your nervous system into alignment. A soft exhale guides your cells back into coherence. Right now, as your diaphragm moves gently, your vagus nerve sends calming signals through your chest and abdomen. This stimulates the parasympathetic system, lowering inflammation, relaxing blood vessels, and creating a stable environment for cellular repair. But something even subtler is happening. Your electromagnetic field, the invisible envelope around you, is stabilizing into a smoother, clearer shape. If someone were sitting close to you, their heart rate might begin to mirror yours, not emotionally, but physically, through field interaction. Studies have shown that two people's heart rhythms can synchronize simply by being in proximity. No words, no touch, pure resonance. As your body relaxes, the biofield around you becomes more coherent, and this coherence begins influencing your internal processes. Water molecules, the medium for all cellular communication, start to organize into hexagonal structures, guiding electrical signals with greater precision. Proteins fold more efficiently. Mitochondria release fewer reactive oxygen species. Your immune cells become more responsive, more intelligent, more attuned to what needs repair. Healing at this level is not dramatic. It is gentle, rhythmic, a soft choreography of electrons and photons responding to your breath. Take a slow inhale. Feel the coolness at the tip of your nose. Exhale quietly. Feel the body soften without trying. In this state, your brain waves begin to shift. Beta gives way to alpha, the frequency of creativity, calm focus, soft attention. If you drift deeper, alpha melts into theta, the borderland between waking and dreaming, where memory reorganizes itself and emotional burdens dissolve. This transition doesn't require force. Coherent breathing naturally guides the brain downward into healing frequencies. And your biofield mirrors this, becoming rounder, smoother, almost like a gentle magnetic tide surrounding your skin. For a moment, imagine your entire body as a single instrument vibrating in the same tone. From your heartbeat to your breath to the photons emitted by your cells, everything is resonating in harmony. You are no longer a collection of parts. You are one continuous field of living energy, oscillating gently in the dark. And the universe, which vibrates at every scale, from atoms to galaxies, recognizes this rhythm. In physics, matching frequencies amplify one another. In the language of the night, this means something simpler. When you become calm, the world around you becomes calm. When you soften, the space around you softens. When your breath returns to its natural rhythm, your entire field begins to heal. Just breathe and feel the resonance unfolding quietly through you. Deep inside your chest, your heart is doing far more than pushing blood. It is acting as an electromagnetic lighthouse, broadcasting rhythmic waves of information through your entire body and into the space around you. The heart's field extends outward 2 to 3 meters, detectable with sensitive magnetometers, and its patterns shift depending on your emotional and physiological state. Right now, as your breath grows quieter and your mind softens, your heart's field is becoming smoother and more organized. Physiologists have discovered that when the heart enters a state of calm rhythm, known as high heart rate variability or coherence, it begins sending highly ordered signals to the brain. These signals travel upward along the vagus nerve and reshape brain activity, reducing amygdala activation and guiding the cortex into more relaxed processing. That means your emotional brain and rational brain begin working together rather than in conflict. As your breath slows, your heartbeat follows. Each inhale gently accelerates the heart. Each exhale slows it, creating a wave-like pattern that spreads through your arteries and into the subtle electromagnetic field surrounding you. That wave isn't just mechanical, it's energetic. Studies have shown that coherent heart rhythms can stabilize cell membranes, influence hormonal balance, and even improve the communication between immune cells. Take a soft breath in. Let it expand the chest like a rising tide. And as you exhale, feel a subtle warmth spreading outward, as if the air around you has softened. This is not imagination. This is physics. Your heart's magnetic field interacts with the charged particles in your body's tissues. It influences the ion channels that regulate nerve firing. It synchronizes electrical patterns across your organs. And the calmer you become, the more efficiently this field operates, turning your heart into a resonant drum, guiding your entire system toward balance. The quieting of your heart is the quieting of your entire being. And as the field settles, the world inside you begins its nightly healing. As your heart calms and your electromagnetic field becomes more coherent, your brain begins to shift its frequency. This is not something you need to try to do. Your breath and your heart are already taking you there. Right now, electrical patterns in your cortex are likely drifting from busy beta waves into the softer, slower realm of alpha, the frequency associated with creativity, introspection, and gentle awareness. Just below, alpha lies theta, the hypnotic borderland between waking and dreaming, where the brain begins to repair emotional imprints and reorganize stored memories. This descent is one of the most healing transitions the human body can experience. In alpha and theta states, the brain's hemispheres synchronize, forming what neuroscientists call cross-hemispheric coherence. Signals flow more smoothly between left and right, logic and intuition, memory and imagination. Thought becomes fluid, unforced, drifting like clouds over a quiet sky. During this shift, your brain also begins releasing GABA, an inhibitory neurotransmitter that quiets neuronal firing. Stress circuits turn down, inflammation markers drop. The prefrontal cortex, the center of compassion, reflection, and inner calm, becomes more active, even as the rest of the brain grows quieter. At the same time, Your pineal gland begins surveying the darkness, preparing to produce melatonin, the molecule that deepens sleep, protects DNA, and restores circadian balance. Take another slow breath. Notice how the mind begins to feel softer, wider, less pressured. This is your brain entering a healing frequency. As your brainwaves slow, the biofield surrounding your head becomes more uniform, more spherical, almost like a soft halo of electromagnetic quiet. Quantum biologists suggest that this coherent field may help organize protein folding, support cellular repair, and amplify the communication between neurons through photonic signaling. You are not falling asleep. You are descending into harmony, a gentle unraveling of tension, thought, noise, and resistance. The mind is not shutting down. It is returning to the frequency where healing becomes effortless. Right now, as your breath slows and your internal field grows calmer, something deeply biological and beautifully subtle is happening at the microscopic level. Your cells, trillions of tiny living units, are constantly talking to each other, not just through chemistry, but through electromagnetic signaling. Every cell membrane carries voltage. Every ion channel acts like a gate responding to electrical cues. Every mitochondrion pulses with rhythmic charges as it produces ATP. And when you relax, these electrical patterns shift into a clearer, more harmonious state. Biophysicists have shown that cells can synchronize their activity through shared electromagnetic fields. In experiments, groups of cells placed near each other begin oscillating in unison, even when separated by barriers that prevent chemical communication. This suggests that your body is wired with a silent, radiant network of information, one that responds instantly to your emotional and physiological state. When stress rises, the electrical potential across cell membranes becomes irregular. Calcium channels open at the wrong times. Mitochondrial output becomes less stable. Reactive molecules increase. But when your breath deepens, just like you're breathing now, the parasympathetic system lowers the noise and cells regain their rhythm. They start listening to each other again, aligning their electrical pulses into a gentle, coordinated pattern. Breathe softly. Inhale. Exhale. That simple cycle changes the voltage inside your nerves, the magnetic field around your heart, and the electrical behavior of your cells. Your entire body becomes a coordinated field of quiet, intelligent communication. Healing at the cellular level is not a dramatic event. It's a return to order, an elegant choreography of ions, photons, and rhythms shaped by the way you breathe. As you drift deeper into calm, your cells begin generating fewer stress signals and more reparative cues. Damaged DNA begins to be scanned and corrected. Protein misfolds begin to be refolded properly. Ion channels regain their timing. Even the water inside your cells, the medium of all life, becomes more structured, forming hexagonal patterns that carry signals more efficiently. You don't need to control any of this. Your body is already doing it. Your only task is to rest. If you could step outside your body for a moment and look back, not with eyes, but with instruments of physics, you would see something breathtaking. Surrounding you is a torus-shaped electromagnetic field, a donut-like halo that loops outward from your heart, curves around your body, and flows back in. This shape is not symbolic, it is measurable. Magnetocardiography and magnetoencephalography reveal that both the heart and brain generate toroidal fields that change with your emotions, thoughts, and breath. Right now, your torus is becoming smoother, rounder, more coherent. As your heart enters a more stable rhythm, the field it generates becomes less turbulent. The loops of magnetism flowing outward and inward begin to align into a more symmetrical pattern. Researchers have observed that when people feel calm, grateful, or safe, just as you're beginning to feel now, the shape of the field becomes more organized, almost like a spinning sphere of gentle energy. Take a soft breath in. Imagine the air entering your chest, expanding the torus outward. Then exhale, and imagine the field folding gently back in toward your center. This movement is happening with or without your imagination. Every heartbeat sends out an electromagnetic pulse that travels beyond your skin. Every breath influences the geometry of that pulse. And the quieter you become, the more elegantly the torus spins. Some physicists believe that this coherent toroidal field is what allows your body to coordinate healing across vast networks of cells, guiding stem cell activity, immune function, and regenerative processes. Your torus is not separate from you. It is you, your extended physiology, your silent halo of information. A field that bends with your emotions, softens with your breath, and steadies with your calm. And tonight, as you drift deeper into rest, that field is smoothing into one continuous quiet circle of light, gently carrying you toward deeper healing. Deep inside every cell of your body, there is light, literal, measurable light. These are biophotons, ultra-weak photons emitted by DNA, mitochondria, and cellular proteins. Under normal conditions, these photons flicker irregularly, like distant stars in a hazy sky. But when the body enters a state of calm, exactly the state you are drifting into now, these tiny pulses begin to synchronize into what scientists call biophoton coherence. This is not metaphoric illumination, it is physics. Biophotons behave like quantum packets of information. They help direct cellular repair, guide protein folding, and coordinate gene expression. When these photons become coherent, meaning they pulse in ordered rhythms, cells communicate with greater clarity and speed. Healing processes become more efficient. Tissue repair becomes more precise. Even stem cells appear to migrate more effectively under coherent light conditions. As your breath slows, your nervous system quiets, and stress hormones decline, your biophoton emissions begin to settle into smoother patterns. Imagine a field of lanterns shifting from random flickers to a gentle, unified glow. It happens silently, without pressure or force, guided simply by the physiology of calm. Take a soft breath in and a slower breath out. With each exhale, stress-induced photon noise decreases. Mitochondria stabilize their electron flow. DNA unwinds more smoothly, reducing microtension within the nucleus. The water surrounding your proteins becomes more structured, allowing photons to travel in straighter, clearer paths. Some biophysicists propose that biophoton coherence may be the body's master signaling system, the conductor behind the symphony of healing. And right now, in this softening moment, your inner light is becoming more organized, more harmonious, more capable of guiding your cells through the quiet work of repair. You don't have to try. Your body remembers. Your cells remember. The light remembers. there is a specific breathing rhythm measured repeatedly in labs across the world that brings the human body into its most healing frequency. It's called resonant breathing, and it occurs at approximately 5.5 breaths per minute. At this pace, the heart, lungs, and baroreceptors in your arteries fall into a shared oscillation, creating a feedback loop of profound calm. Right now, your breath is already drifting toward this natural frequency. When you breathe at a resonant pace, your heart rate begins to rise and fall in a sine wave pattern. This is the ideal shape for oxygen delivery, immune function, and stress reduction. It's also the frequency where your vagus nerve, the master regulator of rest and digestion, becomes most active. The moment the vagus nerve strengthens its signal, inflammation decreases, digestion improves, blood pressure lowers, and the brain receives a clear message of safety. And when the brain feels safe, everything changes. Neurons fire more slowly, muscles relax, cortisol drops, serotonin and GABA rise. Melatonin begins its quiet ascent. But something even subtler happens. Your body's electromagnetic field begins to vibrate in a more coherent pattern. Each inhale slightly expands the field. Each exhale softens it. Over time, this creates a rhythmic pulse detectable outside your body, a calm frequency that influences everything within it. Take a gentle breath now. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Slow, fluid, unforced. As your breath aligns with this frequency, your organs receive a unified signal. Your heart syncs with your lungs. Your diaphragm synchronizes with your arterial pressure waves. Your brain rhythms drift downward into alpha and theta. Every system begins working in harmony, like instruments tuning to the same note. This is the body's natural healing frequency. Not imposed, not artificial, just remembered. The deeper you breathe, the more your internal orchestra aligns. And as it aligns, you slip further into the quiet realm where the body restores itself, silently, gently, effortlessly. Just breathe and let resonance guide you. Inside your body, water is not just a fluid, it is a conductor, an intelligent medium that arranges itself around electromagnetic fields, forming structured layers that guide healing signals with remarkable speed. More than 70% of your body is water, but not the chaotic liquid we imagine from a glass. Within your cells, water forms coherent domains, microscopic regions where molecules align in ordered patterns, responding instantly to the electrical and photonic signals flowing through your biofield. Tonight, as your breath deepens and your field softens, this internal water is reorganizing itself into clearer, more crystalline structures. Imagine for a moment the water surrounding your DNA. It forms a spiraling sheath, like a shimmering ribbon of liquid light that stabilizes the double helix and helps regulate gene expression. When stress is high, this water becomes disordered. Its ability to carry electrical signals decreases. Cellular communication slows. But when calm settles over the body, as it is beginning to settle now, the water reorganizes, forming more structured layers that guide electromagnetic information more efficiently. This means your cells literally hear each other better when you relax. Scientists like Gerald Pollack describe this structured water as the fourth phase, a gel-like state created by electromagnetic interactions. It stores charge like a battery. It transmits signals with minimal resistance. It supports enzymatic reactions, protein folding, and tissue repair. Tonight, as your heart rhythm becomes smoother, your biofield sends coherent patterns through your tissues. These patterns influence the alignment of water molecules, helping them form layers that support healing. Take a slow inhale and a gentle, melting exhale. With each calm breath, the electrical potential across your cell membranes increases slightly. This microcharge pulls water molecules into order, creating thin sheets of structure along your proteins and organelles. These sheets act like highways for electrons and photons, allowing your body to process energy more efficiently. As the water organizes, mitochondria produce ATP more smoothly. Antioxidant systems become more effective. Even inflammation begins to decrease as proteins fold correctly, and communication between cells becomes clearer. You might imagine all of this as a kind of liquid architecture, a shifting palace of water and light, shaped by the electromagnetic rhythms of your breath and heartbeat. When your internal rhythms are chaotic, the palace becomes disordered, hallways blocked, signals muffled. But right now, guided by your slow breathing, the architecture is rebuilding itself. Hallways open, light flows, information travels cleanly from cell to cell. This is the intersection of physics and biology. This is where the biofield meets water, where calm becomes chemistry, where breath becomes architecture, where silence becomes healing. You don't need to visualize it. You don't need to understand the physics. You only need to rest. Your body is already reorganizing its liquid structures into coherence, quietly repairing, renewing, aligning one breath at a time. Every organ in your body has its own electromagnetic identity, a signature frequency pattern created by the movement of ions, electrons, and bioelectric currents. Your heart pulses with low-frequency magnetic waves. Your brain emits oscillations across a spectrum of electrical rhythms. Your liver, kidneys, gut, and lungs each produce their own subtle fields, shaped by cellular voltage and metabolic activity. What's extraordinary is that these organs don't just communicate through nerves or hormones. They also communicate through bioelectromagnetic resonance. Right now, as your system quiets, your organs are beginning to synchronize. Under stress, the electromagnetic fields of organs fall out of alignment, like instruments playing different tempos in the same room. The heart might beat erratically. The gut may generate noisy electrical waves. The brain may shift into fast beta patterns. This internal discord creates friction, slowing healing and increasing inflammation. But as your breath deepens and your parasympathetic system strengthens, these organ fields gradually begin to entrain, finding a shared tempo guided primarily by the heart's electromagnetic rhythm. The heart is the conductor. The organs are the orchestra. Your breath is the metronome. When the heart enters coherence, its magnetic waves form smooth rhythmic loops that spread through the bloodstream and into surrounding tissues. These waves influence the electrical activity of nearby cells, nudging them back into balance. Studies in bioelectromagnetism show that organs exposed to coherent fields recover function faster, communicate more efficiently, and exhibit greater cellular repair. Take a gentle breath in. Feel the heart lift slightly, and exhale, letting everything settle. With each breath, organs begin adjusting their electrical rhythms. The gut's enteric nervous system, the second brain, shifts into slower, more harmonious oscillations. The liver's metabolic waves becomes smoother. The kidneys regulate electrolyte flow with greater precision. Even the immune system responds as electromagnetic cues guide white blood cells toward balance rather than reactivity. Your brain senses this harmony. It responds by lowering unnecessary alertness, decreasing beta waves, and increasing alpha and early theta rhythms. This creates a feedback loop. Calm organs signal the brain, and the brain deepens the calm, sending it back through your entire field. In this moment, without any effort, your body is returning to its electromagnetic blueprint, the original balance pattern that supports healing. This blueprint exists beneath thought, beneath emotion, beneath the noise of daily life. It is ancient, efficient, and always trying to reassert itself when you allow space for rest. Tonight, through slow breathing and gentle awareness, you are giving your body permission to return to that blueprint. One organ at a time, one field at a time, one breath at a time. Just breathe and let the harmony settle deeper. Right now, as your breathing slows and your chest rises gently, the longest nerve in your body, the vagus nerve, is awakening into its natural rhythm. This nerve is not just a strand of tissue. It is an electrical highway connecting your brain to your heart, lungs, gut, and nearly every organ involved in healing. When you breathe deeply and slowly, as you are doing now, the vagus nerve sends waves of calming electrical signals through your organs, shifting your entire physiology into a state called parasympathetic dominance, the realm where true restoration begins. The vagus nerve responds most strongly to diaphragmatic breathing. Each inhale gently stretches receptors in your lungs, and each exhale triggers a surge of vagal activity. This surge slows your heart rate, lowers blood pressure, reduces inflammation, and signals to your brain that you are safe. Safety is not just an emotion. It is a physiological state measurable through heart rate variability, neurotransmitter levels, and electromagnetic coherence. As the vagus nerve strengthens its signal, the electromagnetic field around your body becomes more orderly, forming smoother waves that radiate outward from your chest. Take a slow inhale now. Feel the coolness along the inner edges of your nostrils, and exhale, letting your shoulders drop a little more. Every time you breathe like this, your vagus nerve increases the electrical tone of your internal systems. This tone influences digestion, immune activity, and emotional regulation. Cells in your gut begin producing more serotonin. Your immune cells reduce inflammatory signaling. Your brain receives a message of softness, quiet, and safety. This is the foundation of healing, creating an internal environment where repair is not only possible but effortless. Recent research shows that vagus nerve stimulation, whether through breath, meditation, or even gentle humming, can reshape brainwave activity, lowering stress circuits and increasing alpha and theta rhythms. Your breath is doing this naturally, without any force or effort. It is guiding your body into a rhythmic harmony supported by every organ and every cell. Right now, the vagus nerve is acting as a conductor, aligning electrical rhythms across your body. Your heart follows, your lungs follow, your digestive system follows. The electromagnetic field around you reflects this alignment, smoothing into a coherent glow of calm. You don't need to try. You only need to breathe. Emotions are not just ideas or sensations. They are electromagnetic events. When you feel anxious, your heart rhythm becomes jagged, producing an irregular magnetic field. When you feel peaceful, the heart forms smooth, wave-like patterns that radiate several feet beyond your body. Tonight, as you sink deeper into stillness, your emotional field is softening, becoming rounder and more coherent. Every emotion you experience is encoded through your heart's electromagnetic signature. These signatures influence the nervous system, immune function, and even the structure of water inside your cells. Stress signals constrict blood vessels, disrupt cellular communication, and introduce noise into your biofield. But right now, with each slow breath, those signals fade. The biofield begins smoothing itself like ripples settling on a pond at dusk. Take a soft breath in. Let it float upward into the chest, and breathe out slowly, like fog drifting off a quiet lake. With each exhale, emotional charge disperses. Electrical activity in your heart becomes more rhythmic. Your brain receives patterns of calm through the vagus nerve and adjusts its oscillations accordingly. This creates a feedback loop. Peaceful magnetic patterns from the heart calm the brain, and the calm brain supports smoother heart rhythms. Psychophysiologists call this heart-brain coherence, but you might feel it simply as spaciousness, a quiet expansion inside and around your body. The emotional signatures stored in your biofield respond to this coherence. Old tension patterns begin dissolving. Muscles soften as electromagnetic noise decreases. The gut releases microcontractions stored from stress. Even the microcurrents around your skin, the tiny voltages that guide healing, begin stabilizing. Imagine your biofield as a soft sphere of light surrounding you. Earlier in the day, that sphere may have been distorted, pulled tight, contracted, shaped by unfinished thoughts or internal pressure. But now, as your heart rhythm smooths, the sphere expands slightly, rounding its edges, brightening gently. This is your emotional field aligning with your physical field, forming a unified pattern of safety. Emotional healing doesn't happen through force. It happens when your electromagnetic environment becomes quiet enough for your body to release what it no longer needs. Tonight, through breath, through calm, through coherence, your emotional field is softening into a state where release becomes effortless. You are not pushing anything away. You are simply returning to the natural shape of your biofield. Smooth, calm, open, and whole. Just breathe and let the field soften a little more. In this softened moment, your heart and brain are beginning to fall into sync, an elegant interaction of electricity and magnetism that shapes the entire biofield around you. Most people think the brain leads the body, but in truth, the heart sends far more signals upward than the brain sends downward. With each slow breath you take, your heart's electromagnetic rhythm becomes smoother, and the brain responds by shifting into calmer oscillations. This is the foundation of heart-brain synchronization, a state where both systems share the same internal tempo. When the heart creates a coherent pattern, like the gentle curve of a sine wave, pressure sensors in your arteries detect the rhythm and send messages through the vagus nerve. The brain listens. Neurons in the prefrontal cortex begin firing more steadily. Stress circuits lose their intensity. The electrical storm of the day slowly dissolves. As this communication deepens, the brain transitions into alpha waves, the frequency of light awareness, spaciousness, and soft focus. Take a slow breath in and a slower breath out. Right now, your heart's magnetic field is extending outward in smooth loops of coherence. These loops interact with charged particles in your tissues, guiding electrical impulses throughout your body. Your brain's rhythms adjust in response, aligning themselves to the slower, steadier pace established by your breath. This synchronization has measurable effects. Cognitive noise decreases. Emotional reactivity fades. Muscles receive cleaner electrical signals, relaxing without effort. The immune system becomes more responsive. Even your circadian rhythm begins rebalancing as the brain interprets the coherent signals as a cue for restoration. Imagine your heart and brain as two instruments that once played at different tempos. One rushed, one restless. Now, as your breath guides them, the instruments begin to harmonize. Their rhythms merge, forming a soft duet that shapes everything inside you. The biofield around your body becomes stronger, clearer, and more unified, reflecting this deepening harmony. You don't have to do anything to support this process. Your body is already synchronizing itself, quietly, beautifully, automatically, through the physics of calm. All healing in the body begins with electricity, not lightning bolt electricity, but microcurrents, tiny flows of ions that guide cells on where to repair, how to grow, and when to regenerate. These microcurrents are the silent architects of your tissues, constantly shaping and reshaping your internal landscape. When you are stressed, these repair currents weaken or become irregular. But as you relax into deeper calm, your bioelectric system begins restoring its natural blueprint. Every cell has an electrical charge. Every tissue has a voltage. When part of the body is injured or inflamed, its electrical pattern becomes distorted, like a detuned instrument. In response, the body generates a bioelectric repair current, a slow, steady flow of ions that travels to the affected area. This current acts as a map for healing, guiding stem cells, regulating inflammation, and coordinating tissue repair. Right now, as your nervous system shifts into parasympathetic dominance, these repair currents become stronger. With each calm breath, your vagus nerve reduces noise in your tissues. Ion channels on your cell membranes begin opening and closing with smoother timing. This allows electrical gradients to stabilize, providing a clean signal for repair. Take another soft breath. Let it drift through you like a warm tide. As your internal voltage settles, the blueprint of your tissues becomes clearer. Damaged cells receive precise instructions. Mitochondria adjust their energy output. The water inside your fascia aligns, helping bioelectric signals travel farther and faster. Even scar tissue softens its electrical rigidity, allowing healthier patterns to reestablish themselves. This is why calm accelerates healing, not emotionally, physically. Your body uses electrical language to determine what needs repair. And that language becomes clearest when the field around you is quiet. Right now, you are allowing your body to return to its original blueprint, the harmonious electrical pattern that existed before stress, before tension, before the noise of the world. The blueprint is ancient. It never disappears. It only waits for moments like this, when the internal winds settle and the field becomes still enough for the body to hear itself again. Just breathe and let the blueprint unfold. Deep within your abdomen lies a vast network of neurons, over 500 million, more than in the spinal cord. This system, known as the enteric nervous system, is often called the second brain. It generates its own electrical signals, produces neurotransmitters, and communicates constantly with your heart, brain, and biofield. Right now, as your breath softens, the electrical rhythm of this second brain is shifting into a calmer, more coherent pattern. Stress disrupts the gut's electromagnetic rhythms, causing irregular contractions, inflammation, and disordered communication with the brain. But the moment you begin breathing slowly, the vagus nerve carries waves of calm downward, smoothing the electrical patterns of the gut. Neurons fire in gentler sequences. Muscles along the intestines loosen. Blood flow increases. Digestive enzymes release more steadily. Take a slow breath in. Feel the abdomen expand softly. And exhale, letting the belly fall like a quiet tide. With each breath, the gut's electrical oscillations begin to synchronize with the heart. This process is called cardioenteric coherence. When these two systems align, digestion becomes quieter, inflammation drops, and the gut's bioelectric signals to the brain shift into a more reassuring tone. The second brain whispers a message of safety, and the mind responds by drifting deeper into rest. Your gut also produces nearly 90% of your serotonin, the neurotransmitter of calm and contentment. As electrical patterns stabilize, serotonin production increases. The biofield surrounding your abdomen becomes smoother, warmer, more orderly, reflecting the internal shift toward harmony. Inside you, dozens of systems are beginning to resonate together. The gut, the heart, the brain, all aligning through the silent language of electricity. You are not forcing this harmony. You are allowing it. At the center of every cell in your body lives a tiny generator, the mitochondrion. These organelles produce the energy that keeps you alive. But they also emit faint pulses of light. These pulses, biophotons, reflect the health and rhythm of the cell. When the mind is restless or overwhelmed, mitochondrial rhythms become noisy and erratic. But when you enter a state of calm, as you are doing now, mitochondria shift into smoother, more efficient cycles. A calm nervous system reduces oxidative stress. It stabilizes the electrical gradients across mitochondrial membranes. It allows the electron transport chain to operate more cleanly, producing more ATP and releasing fewer reactive molecules. With every quiet breath, your cells generate energy more efficiently, wasting less, restoring more. Take another gentle breath. Let it enter slowly, like soft moonlight. And exhale, allowing the body to melt a little deeper. As ATP production stabilizes, the biophotons emitted by your mitochondria become more coherent. This means the light inside your cells is organizing into cleaner, more structured patterns. Some scientists believe this coherence helps cells communicate over long distances, guiding tissue repair and balancing immune activity. Picture, if you like, a constellation of tiny lights inside you, each one a mitochondrion pulsing softly. Right now, those lights are synchronizing. Instead of flickering chaotically, they glow in steadier patterns, creating a quiet inner harmony that mirrors the biofield surrounding your body. This isn't imagination. This is physiology responding to calm. Your cells recognize peace. They perform better in peace. They repair themselves in peace. As your breathing deepens and your heart steadies, these mitochondrial rhythms strengthen. The field around your body becomes clearer, smoother, more coherent, reflecting a deepening state of biological efficiency. You are not just relaxing, you are renewing, quietly, effortlessly, breath by breath. Each time you inhale, your chest expands in a gentle arc, and with that expansion, something remarkable happens. The magnetic field around your heart grows stronger for a brief moment. Physiologists have measured this. Your heart's electromagnetic field can extend up to 3 feet beyond your body when you are calm, rhythmic, and breathing slowly. And right now, with every soft rise of your chest, that field is smoothing into a harmonious wave. When breath becomes steady, the electrical firing of the heart follows suit. The vagus nerve signals the sinoatrial node to slow, elongating the time between beats. This creates something called respiratory sinus arrhythmia, a natural rhythmic variation that strengthens your parasympathetic state. As the rhythm smooths, the magnetic field becomes more stable, more coherent, more gentle. Take a slow breath in. Let the air flow like warm light through your ribs. And exhale, feeling the wave fall softly. Your breath is shaping your biofield, not metaphorically, electrically. As your lungs expand, the heart's magnetic signature widens, brushing through the space around you like a soft tide. When you exhale, the field contracts but grows smoother, as if the breath itself were ironing out the tension stored within the electromagnetic space of your chest. And then something subtle happens. The brain responds. When the heart's magnetic field becomes coherent, the brain's alpha waves increase. Neural chatter quiets. The amygdala relaxes. Cortisol drops. You enter a cognitive state researchers call physiological safety, a moment when the body and mind agree that the world is no longer demanding anything from you. Right now, as the breath slows, your biofield is becoming a sanctuary, a gentle magnetic cocoon, a safe space your body builds from its own rhythm. Tonight, your breath is not just air. It is alignment. It is coherence. It is your biofield quietly humming itself back into balance. Inside you is a vast network of electrical pathways, more intricate than any man-made grid. These pathways, made of nerves, connective tissue, interstitial fluids, and ion channels, carry tiny charges that regulate everything from muscle repair to emotional balance. Bioelectricity is not just a byproduct of life. It is the language life uses to organize itself. Every thought you have generates an electrical pattern. Every heartbeat sends a wave across your entire body. Every cell uses voltage gradients to decide when to divide, repair, or rest. But something extraordinary happens when you become deeply calm. The noise fades, the signals clear. The electrical grid becomes more efficient. Take a slow breath, in and out. As the body enters a parasympathetic state, voltage gradients across cell membranes stabilize. This creates a more orderly flow of ions, sodium, potassium, calcium, moving in and out with less resistance, less turbulence. Healing pathways open. Inflammation subsides. Muscles relax. The immune system becomes more responsive. Your connective tissue, which forms a continuous electrical network called the living matrix, begins to conduct signals more smoothly. Researchers believe this matrix acts like a liquid crystal, carrying bioelectric information at remarkable speed. And right now, that matrix is softening, loosening, becoming more conductive with each breath you take. Imagine your body as a quiet landscape at night. Small sparks of electricity glide gently through rivers of collagen. Cells communicate through pulses of light and voltage. And slowly, gracefully, harmony returns. you are entering a state where the body's electrical messages become clear enough for healing to unfold without resistance. This is not passive. This is not idle. This is your biology functioning at its highest intelligence. Your biofield is stabilizing. Your electrical grid is smoothing itself. Your body is remembering how to heal. Right now, even as you lie still, your skin is gently glowing, not with visible light, but with soft electrical activity that rises and falls like waves in the dark. Every square inch of your skin carries tiny ion channels, microscopic gates that open and close in response to temperature, emotion, and touch. These channels create subtle electric fields that shift with every breath, every heartbeat, every whisper of calm that moves through you. Dermatophysiologists call this the skin conductance response, a delicate measure of your emotional state. When you feel anxious, the skin's conductivity spikes. When you feel safe, it softens into quiet, smooth, flowing frequencies. And right now, your skin is speaking the language of safety. Each slow inhale tells the ion channels to relax. Each slow exhale reduces the microcurrents of tension. The frequency around your skin steadies into a gentle hum. This calm external field doesn't stay outside. It ripples inward, affecting your nervous system. Nerve endings beneath the skin, millions of them, sense the shift and relay a message up the spinal cord. We're okay. The world is soft. You can let go. The brain listens. The amygdala loosens. Stress chemistry drops. And your entire biofield becomes more coherent, more fluid, more whole. If you could see the frequencies dancing across your skin right now, they would look like calm ripples expanding over a moonlit lake, soft, rhythmic, unhurried. The skin is your first boundary with the world. But tonight, it is not a shield. It is a quiet instrument, a gentle antenna tuned to the frequency of peace. Deep inside your body, far beneath muscle and bone, every single one of your cells emits a faint glow. Scientists call this ultra-weak photon emission, a stream of tiny light particles that flicker as your cells exchange energy. You do not see it, but your body feels it. It is one of the oldest forms of communication in biology. In moments of stress, this inner light becomes erratic, flickering sharply, like a candle shaken by wind. But in moments of calm, moments like this, those photons flow in smooth, round patterns, traveling through tissues with a harmony that researchers describe as coherent biophotonic waves. Right now, your body is glowing more evenly, softly, quietly, as if each cell were remembering the natural rhythm of peace. Mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside your cells, release these photons as they generate energy. When you breathe slowly, oxygen spreads more efficiently through your tissues, and the mitochondria brighten just slightly, enough to shift your internal light toward harmony. This light isn't symbolic. It is measurable. It is real. And your biofield responds to it. As biophotons move in coherent waves, the surrounding electromagnetic field becomes smoother, more stable. Your heart rate shifts into a gentle variability. Your brain's alpha waves deepen. Your entire being begins to vibrate at a lower, calmer frequency. Imagine your body as a constellation. Each cell a tiny star. Each photon a pulse of cosmic rhythm. All of them moving together in one quiet dance. You are glowing from within. Not with brilliance, not with heat, but with harmony. A soft light the body remembers how to make when the mind stops striving. Tonight, your inner universe is brightening in the gentlest way possible. Deep beneath your breath, beneath your heartbeat, beneath even the rhythms of your thoughts, there is a network woven through your entire body, a resonant web that scientists sometimes call the bioelectromagnetic matrix. It's not a single organ, not a single structure, but a seamless field created by the combined activity of your nerves, your connective tissues, your blood flow, your heart, and your brain. Tonight, as you rest, this web is beginning to hum in harmony again. Every organ in your body produces its own oscillation, its own tiny wave of electrical activity. The heart pulses around 1 hertz. The stomach produces slow waves around 0.05 hertz. The brain oscillates in bands, alpha, theta, delta, each one tied to a different state of awareness. Even your bones generate a faint piezoelectric signal when you breathe and shift your posture. And yet, despite these differences, in deep calm, the rhythms begin to align. Not in perfect unison like a drum, but like an orchestra, each instrument slow, steady, complementary. As you inhale softly, your diaphragm descends and stretches the connective tissues wrapped around your organs. Those tissues are filled with collagen fibers, and collagen carries electricity better when it is hydrated and relaxed. At this moment, with your breath smooth and your body at rest, your collagen network becomes more conductive, more fluid. It's like turning static into a clear tone. The signals, tiny voltage shifts, and gentle electromagnetic pulses travel more freely between organs. This is how peace spreads inside you. The calm rhythm of your heart influences the rhythm of your lungs. The smooth waves of your breathing influence the stomach's slower cycles. The brain notices these shifts and responds by easing into alpha and theta. And the whole system settles into what physiologists call organ coherence. Right now, your body is drifting toward that state, not through force, but through softness. If someone could place sensors across your chest, your abdomen, your limbs, they would see the rhythms beginning to synchronize. Tiny oscillations growing smoother, longer, rounder. A quiet entrainment, like waves aligning on a sleepy shoreline. This network does more than communicate. It heals. When the resonant web becomes coherent, blood flow improves. Inflammation markers decrease. Muscles release microtension. Immune cells navigate more smoothly through tissues, following electrical gradients with greater precision. Your body becomes a self-organizing system again, one that doesn't need commands, only conditions. And tonight, you're giving it exactly what it needs: stillness, breath, warmth, permission. Inside your abdomen, the gut is releasing slow rhythmic waves that signal safety upward to the brainstem. In your chest, the heart's magnetic field is smoothing into a steady pattern, quieting the amygdala. In your limbs, tension drains downward as nerve signals soften. And in your brain, networks once busy with problem solving begin to drift into the gentle frequencies of drowsiness. You may not feel all this directly, but your body does. It remembers how to rest. It remembers how to return to balance. It remembers the language of harmony. Right now, you are not just relaxing. You are tuning. Organ by organ, signal by signal, breath by breath. Your entire being is moving toward one quiet frequency of healing. Beneath your skin, beneath your muscles, even beneath your bones, there is a continuous, shimmering network that holds everything together. It isn't just structure. It isn't just tissue. It is a communication system. Electrical, mechanical, fluid, and luminous all at once. Scientists call it the fascial matrix. And tonight, as your body softens, that matrix is beginning to awaken its deepest role, healing through resonance. Fascia wraps every muscle fiber, every organ, every nerve. It forms threads, sheets, spirals, an unbroken river of collagen that connects your head to your feet in one flowing piece. And collagen is remarkable. When stretched, warmed, or gently compressed by breath, it produces a piezoelectric charge, a tiny spark of electricity that ripples through the body like a soft glow through silk. Right now, as your chest rises and falls, this entire network is lighting up in slow, quiet waves. Each inhale creates a delicate tension throughout the fascial system. Each exhale allows that tension to melt, sending a small current outward. And these currents are not random. They carry information, messages of safety, balance, and release. Researchers have discovered that fascia is lined with specialized cells called fibroblasts, which respond to emotional states. When you are stressed, fibroblasts tighten the fascia, making it rigid. When you are calm, like you are now, they soften, allowing your tissues to glide effortlessly. This softening reduces microinflammation, improves circulation, and allows the body's electromagnetic field to flow more freely. Tonight, your fascia is becoming fluid again. Imagine this matrix as a vast ocean inside you. Breath is the tide. Collagen fibers are the waves, and every gentle stretch, every quiet release sends healing currents outward. As you breathe slowly, the diaphragm moves like a rhythmic pump, tugging the fascial layers from the base of your skull down to your pelvic floor. This movement generates subtle electrical signals that travel through the body's water-rich tissues at remarkable speed. Water carries electricity exceptionally well, and you are mostly water, more than 70%, enough for this entire inner ocean to conduct healing waves with every breath. In this moment, the currents moving through your fascia are aligning into smoother patterns. No turbulence, no sharp edges, only round, slow, liquid motion. Your nervous system feels this. Nerve endings embedded in the fascia, millions of them, begin sending calmer messages to the brain. The sympathetic system steps back. The parasympathetic system steps forward. Muscles release. Organs settle. The heartbeat softens into a low and gentle rhythm. Your fascia is not just holding you. It is listening. It is responding. It is healing. Right now, this vast internal network is humming in coherence with your breath. With each slow inhale, the matrix stretches open like a sail catching wind. With each slow exhale, it releases a tiny pulse of electricity that ripples through your entire body. These currents guide immune cells, soothe nerve pathways, and help tissues remember how to repair themselves. You may not feel the electricity directly, but you feel the effects, the warmth spreading through your ribs, the looseness in your shoulders, the gentle heaviness descending through your limbs. This is fascia, letting go. This is your body's inner ocean returning to calm. This is the electric symphony of healing playing quietly beneath your skin. Deep within the center of your body runs a silent column of energy, structure, and electricity, the spine. Not only does it carry you physically through the world, it carries currents, signals, and subtle oscillations that shape your entire biofield. Every nerve branching from it sends whispers of information into your organs, your muscles, and your cells. And tonight, as you slow down, those whispers begin to take on a different shape: softness, coherence, and balance. Your spine is more than bone. It is a living conduit. Inside the vertebrae lies the spinal cord, a river of electrochemical signals. Surrounding it, meninges, fascia, and cerebrospinal fluid, each layer participating in a rhythmic flow scientists call craniosacral motion. This motion is subtle, but when you are deeply calm, it becomes more pronounced, like a slow tide moving through the ocean of your body. Every inhale increases the spinal fluid pressure slightly. Every exhale lets it settle, smooth, and distribute. This rhythmic movement sends gentle pressure waves along the entire length of the spine, stimulating receptors in the fascia and bones. These receptors then convert mechanical motion into tiny electrical impulses, a phenomenon known as mechanotransduction, and these impulses ripple outward through your biofield. Right now, that ripple is becoming steadier. Your spine is aligning with the frequency of rest. The nerves branching from this central column, more than 31 pairs, carry not only instructions, but rhythms. When the breath slows, when the heart softens, when the mind lets go, these nerves reduce their background noise. The sympathetic signals quiet. The parasympathetic waves rise, and your entire inner landscape begins moving toward the frequency of deep safety. The muscles around your spine release microtensions one by one. The fascia softens. Blood flow increases. Electrical resistance decreases. And with that shift, healing pathways open. If you could see your biofield from the outside, you would notice something subtle. A column of energy rising from the base of your spine, widening gently as it reaches your chest, and softening into luminous waves around your head. This is not imagination. Sensitive magnetic sensors have detected these low-frequency oscillations generated by your nervous system, your heartbeat, your breath, and your brain. Your spine is not simply supporting you. It is broadcasting you, your rhythm, your calm, your safety. Tonight, this central column of energy is finding coherence again, breath by breath, wave by wave, signal by signal. You are becoming aligned from the inside out. At the center of your chest lies one of the most extraordinary generators of energy in the natural world, the human heart. Not only does it pump blood, it produces the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ in your body. This field extends outward in all directions, forming a sphere of subtle influence that scientists can measure several feet beyond your skin. Tonight, that field is slowing into a gentle, harmonic pulse. With every heartbeat, a pressure wave moves through your vessels. With every heartbeat, an electrical wave moves through your tissues. And with every heartbeat, a magnetic wave moves through the space around you. Each wave carries information about your safety, your emotions, your breath, your inner state. When you breathe slowly, something remarkable occurs. The heart's rhythm begins to curve in long, smooth arcs. No jagged spikes, no chaotic fluctuations. Physiologists call this heart rate variability. And when the pattern becomes slow and wave-like, they call it high coherence. You are drifting into that coherence now. As your heartbeat steadies, the electromagnetic field around your chest becomes more organized. Scientists have used magnetocardiography to visualize this field. Shimmering loops of energy flowing in and out like soft tides. When you are stressed, the loops become tight and chaotic. When you are calm, exactly like now, they widen, slow, and glow with order. This order affects everything. Signals from the heart travel upward through the vagus nerve to the brainstem. Once there, they influence the amygdala, the emotional center, and the prefrontal cortex, the center of clarity and reasoning. When the heart sends a message of safety, the brain's entire electrical pattern changes. Thoughts soften, inner noise quiets, awareness widens. Your biofield listens to this shift too. The heart's magnetic field interacts with your body's electrical tissues, fascia, nerves, muscles, even the water inside your cells. These interactions create what researchers describe as coupled oscillations, a state where multiple systems synchronize their rhythms. Your breath, your heartbeat, your brainwaves. Tonight, they are weaving into the same slow pattern. This is why people feel peace around someone calm. This is why even your own hands feel warmer as you soften. This is why your chest feels a little fuller, a little lighter, a little safer. Your heart is not just an organ. It is a lighthouse inside your biofield. And right now, its gentle gravitational pull is gathering all the scattered rhythms within you and bringing them home, smoothing them, softening them, guiding them toward the quiet music of healing. In this moment, your heart is not simply beating, it is harmonizing you. Even though you are lying still, the space around your body is quietly expanding and contracting in delicate waves. This isn't imagination, it's physics. Every electrical signal inside you, from the firing of neurons to the contraction of the heart, creates a magnetic field. These fields overlap, merge, and form what researchers call the magnetic horizon of the human body. Tonight, that horizon is widening into one smooth, coherent glow. Your body is a symphony of tiny currents. Your brain alone produces billions of microvolt fluctuations every second. Your nerves send electric messages at speeds up to 120 meters per second. Your heart, with every beat, sends a magnetic ripple several feet outward. All of these signals blend into your personal magnetic field. When you are stressed, the field becomes jagged, fragmented, irregular, as if different parts of you are pulling in different directions. But when the breath slows and the heart softens, these currents begin to fall into harmony. And right now, that harmony is beginning to form. Slowly, quietly, effortlessly, take a gentle breath in and a long breath out. As you breathe, the ions in your bloodstream move more smoothly. Oxygen enters your cells with less resistance. The electrical resistance of your tissues lowers. And as your internal environment becomes more fluid, the magnetic field around you smooths into a soft roundness, stable, warm, coherent. If you could see it, your magnetic horizon would look like a sphere of dim, gentle light, expanding with each inhale and settling with each exhale. The edges would blur into the air around you, creating the sense that your body isn't ending at your skin, but merging softly with the space it rests in. This magnetic horizon affects your inner state too. The brain feels safer. The body loosens. Inflammation drops. Muscles release tension they've carried all day. Your cells move into a state biologists call rest repair, favoring healing over defense. Your tissues absorb nutrients better. Your immune system becomes more efficient. Your blood vessels dilate gently, improving circulation. Right now, your body is not defending itself. It is harmonizing itself. The magnetic horizon is your quiet boundary with the world, a boundary that becomes softer and more luminous the deeper you breathe. And tonight, you are glowing with a calm the world cannot see, but your body deeply feels. Deep inside every cell, beneath the membranes and enzymes and mitochondria, there are smaller worlds, subatomic particles, moving in delicate patterns of probability and vibration. At this level, everything in your body exists as both matter and frequency. Your biofield is not just electromagnetic, it is quantum, built from oscillations so subtle they blur the boundary between the physical and the energetic. Right now, as you rest and breathe softly, something profound happens at this tiny scale. Your inner vibrations slow. Quantum biologists have discovered that molecules inside your body vibrate at specific frequencies depending on your emotional and physiological state. Under stress, these vibrations become chaotic. Under calmness, like the calm spreading through you now, they become coherent, forming what researchers call quantum coherence domains. Your body is forming those domains now. Inside your cells, electrons move in smoother orbits. Photons are exchanged in more rhythmic pulses. Proteins fold more efficiently. DNA expresses more clearly. This isn't metaphor. It's measurable science. As your breath deepens, the slight electrical charge across your cell membranes stabilizes. This affects calcium channels, which affect neurotransmitter release, which affects your emotions and thoughts. Within seconds, your entire inner universe shifts toward a quieter, more organized rhythm. It's as if the quantum particles inside you are settling into a soft, shared hum. Some researchers theorize that the body's biofield is partly generated by these quantum processes: the flow of electrons through proteins, the spin of ions inside channels, the vibrations of water molecules lining your cells. And water makes up more than 70% of you. Water listens, water responds. Water carries vibration better than anything else known. Right now, the water inside you is becoming still, like a lake reflecting moonlight. This stillness allows quantum interactions to synchronize. Molecules communicate more clearly. Cells adapt more gracefully. Energy flows with less resistance. You are not just feeling calm. You are becoming coherent, from the macroscopic level of your breath down to the quantum hum inside your atoms. Tonight, your biofield isn't simply relaxing. It is reorganizing itself into harmony, particle by particle, wave by wave, breath by breath. Your entire being, from the largest rhythms of your heart to the smallest flicker of an electron, is moving into a single tide of healing. As your body softens and your breath lengthens into its slow tidal rhythm, the electrical patterns in your brain begin to shift. You are not asleep yet, but you are approaching the gentle threshold where the waking mind loosens and the dreaming mind begins to rise like mist. This transition is a profound electrochemical event. Neurons change their firing patterns. Networks reorganize. The brain's energy signature becomes smoother, lower, quieter. Right now, beta waves, the fast analytical rhythms of daytime thinking, are dimming. In their place, alpha waves unfurl like ripples on calm water. And beneath them, theta waves begin to glow softly, preparing the landscape of dreams. Theta oscillations are unique. They do not belong fully to wakefulness or sleep. Instead, they occupy the luminous boundary between the two, a state where healing, emotional release, deep memory processing, and creativity are enhanced. When the body is calm, when the heart is coherent, When the breath is slow, the brain naturally drifts into theta even before sleep arrives. This is where you are heading. Neuroscientists have discovered that during this shift, the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, begins sending slower bursts of electrical activity through the cortex. These waves clean emotional residue from the day, sort through memories, and prepare the mind for deeper rest. At the same time, the amygdala softens its output, lowering the brain's vigilance and reducing stress-driven electrical spikes. You may feel this as a kind of gentle widening, a softening behind the eyes, a melting at the temples, a quiet glow spreading across the forehead. Take a slow breath in and a long, falling breath out. Your brain is beginning to reorganize itself into the frequency of dreaming. The prefrontal cortex loosens its grip. The sensory cortices dim their sharp edges. Internal imagery becomes easier, softer, more fluid. Electrically, your mind is no longer scanning the outside world. It is turning inward, drifting into its own open sky. The biofield surrounding your head follows this transition. It becomes rounder, slower, more diffused, almost like a halo of soft magnetism. If someone could measure it, they would see fewer spikes and more slow oscillations, the signature of a mind stepping into the early doorway of dreams. This is not sleep, not yet. This is the quiet shore the mind reaches before it lets go completely. And right now, you are drifting toward that shore with every breath. Even if you are not moving, your body is changing. Beneath your skin, thousands of tiny muscles, those responsible for posture, micro-expressions, balance, and tension, are beginning to release in a slow wave of quiet surrender. This release is not simply mechanical, it is electrical. Muscles relax when the nerves supplying them lower their firing rate, and that lowering only happens in states of deep physiological safety. You are entering that state now. During stress, motor neurons send rapid, sharp bursts of electricity to muscles, keeping them tight and ready. Shoulders lift. The jaw closes. The abdomen contracts. Even the small muscles around the eyes gather tension. But when the body feels safe, when the heart is coherent, when the breath slows, when the brain shifts into alpha and theta, these neurons begin firing less often. Electrical silence spreads. Take another deep, soft breath. Feel the ribs expand like warm wings. And exhale, letting gravity take a little more of your weight. As the nervous system calms, muscles release in layers. The first layer is superficial. The face softens, the jaw loosens, the neck lengthens. The second layer is deeper. The shoulders drop, the chest widens, the back unwinds. The third layer is profound. The hips melt, the thighs grow heavy, the feet relax outward. All of this happens because the electrical tone of your motor neurons is falling. Not collapsing, just easing. Drifting downward like a feather settling onto water. At the same time, blood flow increases. Warmth rises. Oxygen enters the tissues more freely. And the bioelectric noise inside your muscles quiets. Your biofield responds to this release. Muscle tension creates static, tiny, chaotic signals that distort the field. As the muscles let go, the static dissolves. The field becomes clearer, smoother, more unified. This clarity signals the brain that the body is ready for deeper rest, and the brain responds by lowering its overall electrical frequency. Thoughts drift apart. Time becomes soft. Awareness becomes loose and spacious. The muscles no longer hold the day. They no longer hold the posture of alertness. They no longer hold anything at all. Tonight, they are surrendering to gravity, breath, and safety. Your entire physical form is melting into the frequency of rest, one muscle fiber at a time, one breath at a time, one quiet wave at a time. There is a moment inside every heartbeat, a tiny pause that most people never notice. It lasts only milliseconds, but in that brief stillness, your entire physiology resets. This pause is called the diastolic window, and it's the most restorative part of the cardiac cycle. Tonight, as your heart softens into a calm, gentle rhythm, that window is widening, giving your body longer moments of pure healing silence. When you are stressed, your heartbeats crowd together. The space between them shrinks. Blood pressure rises. Electrical activity becomes jagged and sharp. But when you breathe slowly, like you are doing now, the heart elongates its rhythm. Each beat becomes rounder, softer, more spacious. And inside that spaciousness, your biofield settles. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out easily. Right now, the pauses between your heartbeats are lengthening. These pauses allow the coronary arteries to refill with blood. They allow your vagus nerve to send stronger calming signals. They allow your electromagnetic field to stabilize into a coherent wave. Inside each pause, your heart is not working, it is resting. And your body uses that rest to repair. During diastole, the heart's electrical system resets its rhythm. Ion channels open and close in slow, coordinated patterns. The pressure in your vessels drops to its lowest point, protecting the heart muscle. The magnetic field around your chest deepens into a smooth, even pulse. If someone were measuring your heart right now, they would see a rhythm shaped like long arcs instead of jagged spikes. That shape is the signature of safety. Your brain feels this safety instantly. The amygdala quiets. The prefrontal cortex brightens. Alpha waves deepen. Thoughts drift apart. And your body enters a state psychologists call neurocardiac calm. You may notice your chest feels more open, your breath deeper, your limbs heavier. These sensations arise because your heart is moving into coherence and your entire biofield is following. The healing silence between heartbeats is not empty. It is full of gentle recalibration, full of electrical clarity, full of biological peace. Tonight, your heart is not just beating, it is healing you in the quiet moments in between. As your heartbeat settles into its slow, coherent rhythm, your brain follows. Thought begins to lose its sharp edges. Mental tension dissolves, and the inner world becomes quieter, wide, soft, and luminous. This is the beginning of pre-sleep theta, a state where consciousness loosens its grip and the mind drifts into the fertile space between waking and dreaming. Theta waves are slower than alpha waves, slower than the pace of normal thinking. They appear when the brain feels deeply safe. Right now, your brain is generating more theta oscillations with every breath you exhale. Neuroscientists have learned that in theta states, the hippocampus begins restructuring memories from the day. Emotional edges become rounded. Unfinished tensions lose their charge. The brain performs a kind of gentle emotional housekeeping, clearing space for restful sleep and deeper healing. You may feel this as a heaviness behind the eyes, a soft glow in the forehead, a widening sensation through the mind, as if thoughts are floating farther apart. Take another slow breath in and release it gently. In this moment, your mind is not trying to solve or analyze. It is drifting, unraveling, softening. The prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that handles planning and self-control, reduces its electrical output. The default mode network slows. Internal chatter fades. Awareness becomes quiet and open. The biofield around your head responds to this shift. Spikes of electrical activity smooth into low rolling waves. The magnetic field becomes rounder, less concentrated. Your aura, if you could see it, would appear dimmer, softer, more diffused. And this dimming is not a loss. It is a gift, a signal of the mind entering its natural repair mode. In this state, old emotional patterns loosen their grip. Nerve pathways strengthen or weaken based on need. Electrical networks reorganize themselves with less noise. Your entire brain becomes more efficient, more resilient, more balanced. You are not falling asleep yet, but you are approaching the doorway, a gentle, luminous threshold where thinking dissolves and dreaming begins forming beneath the surface. Tonight, you are drifting toward that threshold with perfect ease. As your brain settles deeper into slow, rolling theta waves, something beautiful begins to happen. Your awareness, once spread wide across the day, begins folding inward. It withdraws from the edges of the world and sinks gently into the quiet chambers of your own body. This descent is not a collapse. It is a soft return, a drift into the body's inner night, where healing takes its most effortless form. During wakefulness, your awareness occupies the outer layers of perception: sights, sounds, thoughts, decisions, expectations. But as the nervous system relaxes, these layers loosen like petals closing at dusk. The senses dim, the edges of your thoughts fade, and your mind begins to settle into deeper, quieter currents. Take a slow breath in. Let it expand through your ribs. And exhale as your awareness drifts just a little lower. Inside you, networks of neurons are recalibrating. The thalamus, the brain's sensory gatekeeper, begins reducing its traffic. Signals from the outside world no longer rush in. They trickle, then barely whisper, then soften into silence. You may feel this as a gentle narrowing of attention, not a tightening, but a falling inward, a warmth behind the eyes, a heaviness spreading down through the jaw, the throat, the chest. Your body becomes the landscape, and your awareness becomes the quiet traveler walking slowly through it. As your senses dim externally, your internal signals grow clearer. The rhythm of your heart, the depth of your breath, the warmth in your hands, the soft weight of your body against the bed. Inside this shift, your biofield reorganizes. It no longer pulses outward with alertness. It folds closer to the body, becoming denser, softer, more luminous, like a blanket of warm energy settling around you. Your autonomic nervous system responds beautifully. Stress pathways fade. Repair pathways strengthen. Blood flow redistributes toward the core. Your brain begins releasing more GABA, the neurotransmitter of stillness. This is the beginning of the inner night, the sacred quiet where the body prepares for deeper healing, where the cells begin their nocturnal repair cycles, where the mind's constant motion gives way to drifting, floating, soft surrender. You are entering that quiet now, breath by breath. No effort, no force, only descent, slow, steady, natural, into the healing darkness of your own inner night. As your awareness drifts inward, something deeper begins to unfold, the slow unraveling of emotional echoes. the subtle traces left by the day's experiences. These echoes are not dramatic or loud. They are small residual currents that linger in your muscles, your breath, your chest, and the biofield surrounding you. Tonight, your body is beginning to release them, one by one. When you experience worry, excitement, frustration, or anticipation, each emotion leaves a faint electromagnetic imprint. These imprints ripple through your nervous system, influencing your breathing, your heart rhythm, your muscle tone. Most of the time, you're too busy to notice them, but in the stillness of pre-sleep calm, the body finally has space to dissolve them. And that is happening now. Take another quiet breath in and let it fall out slowly. As the breath settles, emotional patterns stored throughout the body begin to loosen. The jaw releases old tension. The chest softens its protective armor. The abdomen drops its guarded holding. The shoulders unwind their subtle bracing. Emotion and muscle, emotion and breath, emotion and electricity. They're always connected. The biofield mirrors this release. Where earlier it may have held slight distortions, tight corners, small eddies of electromagnetic noise, it now smooths into broader, rounder waves. These waves help guide the body's emotional release, coaxing it gently toward balance. Inside the brain, the limbic system, the emotional center, begins shifting its electrical signature. Sharp bursts of activity soften into slow oscillations. The amygdala relaxes. The hippocampus begins integrating memories with less charge. Emotion becomes information, no longer tension. This process is not dramatic. It is tender, like silk threads loosening in warm water. You may feel it as a soft ache leaving the chest, a quiet warmth spreading down the spine, a gentle flutter of release in the gut, a sigh rising without reason. This is your body resolving what it no longer needs. This is your biofield smoothing into coherence. This is emotional rest, not through thinking or understanding, but through soft physiological surrender. Tonight, your emotional echoes are dissolving into the quiet rhythm of your breath, making space for deeper peace, deeper softness, and the deeper healing that waits just below the surface of sleep. By the time you reach this depth of calm, your body has already shifted into a different mode of operation, one where stress signals no longer dominate the landscape of your nervous system. Throughout the day, tiny bursts of adrenaline and cortisol ripple through your tissues. They're not always dramatic, but they accumulate. A tense conversation, a small worry, a moment of rushing, an unfinished thought. Each one leaves a subtle imprint. Tonight, those imprints are melting. As your breathing drifts into long, smooth waves and your heartbeat softens into gentle arcs, your adrenal system begins stepping back. Cortisol levels fall. Sympathetic nerve fibers reduce their firing. The electrical charge in your muscles lowers. Even the pupils relax, signaling to your brain that it can finally release the day's vigilance. Take a soft breath in and let it dissolve out of your chest like warm mist. Inside your brainstem, the oldest part of your brain, there are clusters of neurons responsible for scanning for danger, keeping you alert, and preparing your body to respond. Those neurons have been working quietly all day. But now, as your heart's magnetic field stabilizes and your vagus nerve strengthens its tone, those alert centers begin to dim. Their electrical activity slows. Noise turns into quiet. The internal radar shuts down. Your tissues feel this shift. The muscles in your neck stop holding your head as if something might happen. The abdominal wall stops bracing. The back loosens. The legs melt outward. Your entire body begins to behave as if gravity has increased by just a few gentle degrees, enough to pull you deeper into rest. The biofield mirrors this change beautifully. Where earlier it may have carried faint static from the day's interactions, small ripples of tension, tiny distortions shaped by thought, it now smooths into broader, slower waves. The field becomes warm, round, steady, a soft cocoon signaling, you are safe now, you can rest. Neuroscientists call this moment downshifting, energy that was once directed outward to think, decide, respond, is redirected inward. Organs begin receiving more blood flow. Cells shift into repair mode. Metabolism slows just enough to conserve resources for healing. Right now, the stress signatures that followed you through the day are melting into nothing. Not because you forced them out, but because your body finally feels permitted to let them go. Tonight, your system is clearing the last remnants of alertness, returning you gently to your natural state, calm, grounded, and ready for the deeper layers of rest still waiting ahead. Beneath your drifting thoughts and your loosening muscles lies another shift, a more biological, more ancient transition. Your body is entering what sleep researchers call the repair corridor, a period before full sleep when your cells begin preparing for the intense restoration that occurs overnight. You aren't fully asleep yet, but the body has already started its nighttime duties. With your breath now slow and rhythmic, your parasympathetic nervous system, the system of rest, digestion, and healing, holds full control. This triggers a cascade of changes across your entire physiology. Blood vessels widen, improving circulation to your core. Immune cells begin moving more efficiently, guided by electrical gradients that are clearer in calm states. The digestive system quiets, but continues absorbing nutrients with greater precision. The liver begins shifting into detoxification mode. Mitochondria prepare to repair damaged proteins. The brain lowers its temperature slightly to protect neural tissue. Take a long, steady breath in, and a softer, longer breath out. As you hover in this threshold, the electrical signals controlling sleep, originating in the preoptic nucleus of the hypothalamus, strengthen. They send inhibitory waves through the arousal centers of the brain, telling them to stand down. These waves resemble slow ripples, the same type that will later deepen into full slow-wave sleep. Meanwhile, your biofield condenses. Instead of expanding outward with alertness, it folds slightly closer to the body, creating a denser, more insulated field. Energy is no longer reaching outward into the environment. It is circling inward, gathering, conserving, protecting. If someone could visualize your field right now, they would see a soft glow surrounding you, thicker near the torso, warmer near the heart and abdomen, gentle around the head like a halo of dim light. Emotionally, you may feel it as a sense of sinking, but sinking in a pleasant, enveloping way, like being lowered into warm water. This is your body's repair corridor. You are not in full sleep yet, but you have left the world of wakefulness behind. Your cells are preparing, your mind is dimming, your systems are realigning toward restoration. Tonight, this corridor is opening for you effortlessly, guided only by breath, calm, and the natural intelligence of your body's field. You are now drifting in the deepest calm of wakefulness, a place where your breath, your heartbeat, and your mind have settled into one slow, fluid rhythm. Inside this rhythm, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your cells start releasing and absorbing light with greater coherence. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic imagination. This is biophysics. Every one of your trillions of cells emits tiny pulses of light called biophotons. These photons carry information, helping cells coordinate everything from DNA repair to protein synthesis. When the mind is stressed, these light emissions become chaotic, flickering, scattered, irregular. But in states of deep calm, like the one you are entering now, biophoton activity becomes smoother, brighter, more synchronized. Take a long, gentle breath in. Feel it widen your chest slightly, and exhale slowly, letting your body sink deeper into the mattress beneath you. Inside your cells, mitochondria begin adjusting their electrical gradients. Electron transport becomes cleaner. ATP production becomes more efficient. This shift creates a stable internal environment, a biological signal telling your tissues, repair can begin now. Your immune cells respond first. They start scanning for damage, not aggressively, but intelligently. They follow subtle electrical trails shaped by your biofield, moving with more accuracy and less inflammation than during daytime activity. Next comes your connective tissue. Collagen fibers, which are sensitive to electricity and light, begin reorganizing into smoother, more aligned patterns. This improves circulation, reduces microtension, and creates a clearer pathway for the tiny electric currents that guide healing. And then, your DNA. In calm states, DNA repair enzymes become more active. They scan your genetic material for small breaks or copying errors and gently mend them, strand by strand, base by base. This is one of the quiet miracles of the night. Your body restoring the blueprint of who you are. Your biofield reflects all of this. The magnetic field around your chest expands slightly with each exhale. Around your head, the field becomes soft and even, like a dim halo glowing at the edge of awareness. Around your abdomen, the field thickens, a sign of deep parasympathetic activation. Right now, every breath you take is encouraging your cells to communicate more clearly, repair more effectively, and release the accumulated noise of the day. You are not forcing this. You are not trying. You are simply allowing the convergence of light, breath, and biology to guide you deeper into the night's natural renewal. This is the beginning of true cellular healing. Quiet, gentle, and unfolding beneath your awareness, like moonlight settling over a calm ocean. As your body continues slipping into its nighttime repair, your mind approaches another threshold, the quiet, luminous threshold between conscious thought and the early architecture of dreams. This is a sacred moment, a soft opening where your inner world begins to rise while the outer world fades without resistance. Inside your brain, a small cluster of neurons in the thalamus begins changing its firing pattern. Instead of letting sensory signals into your awareness, it starts blocking them, reducing the flow of outside information so the brain can turn inward. You may feel this as a kind of dimming. Sounds become rounder. The room feels farther away. Your limbs feel heavier, your eyes softer, your mind more spacious. These sensations are the signature of the sleep gate opening. Take a slow breath in. Let it balloon gently through your lower ribs, and exhale, letting your awareness fall just a little deeper inside. In this pre-sleep state, your brain shifts from organized beta and alpha waves into the drifting fluid waves of early theta. Thoughts lose their edges. Concepts melt. Time feels less linear, less important, less tethered to the outside world. And the biofield around your head begins changing shape. During wakefulness, this field rises outward, projecting alertness and attention. But now, it folds inward, becoming denser and more insulated, like a soft hood of energy gently wrapping your crown. This inward folding reduces the brain's electromagnetic exposure to the environment, creating a protected chamber for dreaming to form. Inside this chamber, memories soften, emotions loosen, and creativity wakes quietly in the dark. Meanwhile, deep brain structures, the amygdala, hippocampus, and prefrontal cortex begin their slow nighttime dance. The amygdala releases emotional charge. The hippocampus organizes memory fragments. The prefrontal cortex lifts its grip, allowing your mind to drift freely. You may feel this as a slight floating sensation, a gentle spinning of awareness, a warm pressure at the forehead, or a pleasant heaviness behind the eyes. Your body becomes distant. Thought dissolves into feeling. Feeling dissolves into imagery. Imagery dissolves into the first soft currents of dream. This is the inner gate, the quiet doorway where consciousness lets go, like a lantern dimming in a peaceful room. Right now, your mind is standing at that doorway, breathing slowly, waiting gently, ready to step into the deeper layers of the night where sleep takes over and healing completes its quiet work. You are moving toward that threshold with perfect ease. You've now reached a depth of calm where the body begins preparing for one final transition. The gentle shift from conscious relaxation into the floating, weightless state that precedes true sleep. This sensation isn't imagined. It arises from measurable changes in your nervous system, your circulation, your muscle tone, and your biofield. As your breath lengthens, carbon dioxide levels rise just slightly, not enough to cause discomfort, but enough to signal your parasympathetic system to ease even further. Blood vessels widen. Your core temperature begins to drop. Muscle tone falls to its lowest level outside of actual sleep. Take a slow inhale and a long, melting exhale. Right now, gravity feels gentler. Your limbs feel heavier. Your body feels as though it is sinking through the surface beneath you, not into darkness, but into a warm, velvety weightlessness. Neurologically, this shift is caused by reduced firing in the reticular activating system, the network that keeps you alert during the day. As it dims, proprioception, the sense of where your body is in space, grows blurry. Your mind stops tracking the boundaries of your physical form. Your arms and legs become less yours, more like gentle shapes drifting at the edges of awareness. Your biofield reflects this letting go. Earlier, it formed smooth waves around your body. Now, those waves stretch, soften, and begin blending with the environment. Instead of a tight outline, your field becomes diffuse. A soft glow that feels less contained, less defined, more like a warm cloud than a boundary. Inside the brain, sleep-onset neurons begin firing in slow bursts. GABA spreads, histamine levels fall, serotonin and melatonin rise in delicate tandem. This chemical shift pushes the nervous system closer to the threshold, where consciousness loosens into dream. Emotionally, this moment feels like release. The last bits of tension behind your ribs dissolve. The throat softens. The base of your skull feels loose, warm, open. Your breath falls into a rhythm so slow, it feels like it's breathing you. This is the body's final exhale before the descent into sleep. The surrender into weightlessness that tells every system inside you that it is safe to let go completely. You are drifting there now, floating, loosening, unwinding, ready to slip into the deepest layers of the night where healing becomes automatic. This is the final chapter of your descent, the gentle moment when the body, mind, and biofield synchronize one last time before sleep fully arrives. What you are experiencing now is the quiet dissolution of waking consciousness. Not a sudden drop, but a slow slide into the deepest softness the human system knows. As your brain shifts further into theta and begins touching the first ripples of delta, neurons fire in large, slow, unified waves. These waves move like rolling tides across the cortex, carrying the day's final remnants out of your awareness. Your thoughts no longer form sentences. They form impressions, colors, shapes, sensations, drifting images, the early architecture of dreams. Take one more gentle breath in and exhale as your awareness begins to dim like a lantern behind frosted glass. Your muscles have reached near sleep atonia, the natural softening that prevents movement during dreams. Your blood pressure has lowered. Your heart has fallen into a calm, spacious rhythm. Your body temperature continues its slow nighttime dip. Your internal chemistry has shifted fully toward restoration. In this moment, your biofield becomes incredibly still. From chaotic daytime signals to coherent evening waves to the soft, barely perceptible glow of true rest, your field settles like dust in a quiet sunbeam. It becomes spherical, gentle, unbroken, as if your energy is curling around you like a protective cocoon. Inside this cocoon, the mind detaches from the external world. Sound becomes distant, thought becomes scattered, emotion becomes quiet, identity softens. The sense of me fades into a warm, drifting presence. This is the threshold, the final doorway between wakefulness and sleep. You are standing at its edge, not with effort, but with the natural gravity of your own biology pulling you inward. Your body knows the way. Your breath knows the way. Your heart knows the way. Your field knows the way. All you need to do now is allow yourself to drift, softly, gently, effortlessly, into the deep night where your cells repair, your mind resets, and your being sinks into the quiet truth of rest. Sleep is waiting for you. Warm, silent, healing. Just drift and disappear softly into the night. Hello, my friend. If you're still hearing this, it means you've traveled all the way through tonight's healing journey. Your breath is soft. Your body is quiet. Your mind is drifting. And now, there is nothing left for you to do. You've already entered the deepest state of calm your system can reach while awake. Your heart is steady. Your brain is glowing in slow waves. Your biofield has wrapped around you like a cocoon of gentle warmth. From here, sleep will take over on its own. No effort, no guidance, just gravity and softness. So let yourself drift into the quiet spaces between thoughts, into the warm silence beneath your breath, into the safe darkness where the body repairs itself. You are safe now. Drift away Drift away. Drift away. The music will stay with you for a little while longer. My voice will disappear, and you will fall softly, effortlessly, into the night that is waiting to hold you. Good night.